Welcome to This Explainer. If you've ever found yourself wondering how the world's top companies manage to make perfect, split-second operational choices in an absolute sea of endless data, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to unpack exactly how modern businesses are using reinforcement learning to completely revolutionize decision-making.
Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap. We have a focused agenda today, starting with the business decision crisis, moving on to meet reinforcement learning, then the RL feedback loop, the explore versus exploit dilemma, RL in the real world, and finally, benefits, risks, and the future.
Section 1, the business decision crisis. Why traditional methods are failing.
So, the big question we really need to ask right out of the gate is this: can AI actually learn to make better decisions over time without us explicitly programming every single rule? It's a total paradigm-shifting thought for anyone in leadership.
Every business runs on decisions, right? Pricing, inventory, staffing. But traditional methods, they're practically like driving while looking in the rearview mirror. Using static rules and historical reports is completely obsolete today. Managers are literally drowning in a vortex of dynamic data and real-time market changes. There's just no way humanly possible to process that much information fast enough.
Section 2, meet reinforcement learning. Learning by doing.
So what's the fix? Well, simply put, it's reinforcement learning, which really just boils down to learning by doing. It's this highly specialized type of AI where the system, the agent, learns by interacting with an environment. It gets rewards or penalties for its actions. The absolute key here is that the AI isn't explicitly told what to do. It has to figure the whole thing out through pure experience.
To really wrap your head around this, think about how you learned to drive a car. You didn't just read a manual and suddenly know how to parallel park, right? You actually had to take the wheel. You make a decision, you get feedback from the road, you adjust, and you improve. Brake too late? That's a penalty. Smooth lane change? Positive reward. RL does the exact same thing: trial, feedback, adjustment, and improvement.
Now, this is a really important distinction. We hear a ton about supervised learning, which is basically predicting outcomes from labeled data, like predicting if it's going to rain tomorrow. But reinforcement learning, it's fundamentally different. It actually decides what actions to take through trial and error. Supervised learning tells us what might happen, but RL tells us what to actually do about it.
Think of it this way. If supervised learning is a student cramming from an answer key, and unsupervised learning is like sorting a messy room into piles, then reinforcement learning is like navigating a totally new, unpredictable corporate market. The AI agent navigates the maze, faces sudden shifts, and learns entirely from a dynamic system of rewards for success and penalties for failure. Section 3. The RL feedback loop, the engine of decision. Every single reinforcement learning system is built on 4 essential gears. First, you've got the agent, which is our AI decision maker. Second is the environment, the world it operates in, like a financial market. Third is the action, representing the choices the agent can make. And finally, the reward, the positive or negative feedback that guides it toward its ultimate goal. And here is how all of that comes together into a continuous, non-stop loop. The agent observes the current state of things, decides to act, and then the environment changes. The agent evaluates the reward or penalty it just got, learns from it, and updates its strategy. Fast forward through millions of these iterations, and the agent goes from literally random guessing to incredibly sophisticated optimization. Section 4. The explore versus exploit dilemma, the ultimate strategic challenge. But baked right into this loop is a massive strategic challenge: the explore versus exploit dilemma. It's a constant tug-of-war. On one hand, you have exploitation, sticking with what you already know works to maximize immediate, short-term profits. But on the other hand, you have exploration, actively trying out new, completely unproven actions to gather info for potentially massive long-term gains. Play it safe or roll the dice. I absolutely love this restaurant analogy because it hits the nail on the head. Imagine an AI just exploiting a restaurant's current top-selling dishes. Sure, it maximizes short-term profit, but it gets trapped and completely misses out on massive new market opportunities. But if it explores wild new menu items too much, testing things that might totally flop, it wastes capital. Finding that exact mathematical sweet spot between digging deep for known rewards and blazing a trail for bigger wins, well, that is everything.
Section 5, RL in the real world, global case studies.
Okay, let's look at some real-world heavy hitters, starting with Netflix. Their main goal? Keeping you engaged. So they use the RL loop to constantly figure out what movie to suggest next. The agent is their recommendation system, the environment is the platform, and the action is suggesting a specific title. If you binge a show, the system gets a positive reward. If you skip it or log off, it gets slapped with a penalty. That continuous learning is exactly why their customer retention is so incredibly strong.
Over at Amazon, they're doing the exact same thing to boost sales. Their agent runs through millions of live interactions. Say you're looking at a laptop, the AI has to decide on the fly whether to recommend a laptop bag, a printer, or maybe headphones. Through relentless trial and error, it learns exactly which add-on triggers that ultra-satisfying add-to-cart reward, driving up sales revenue and constantly optimizing their models.
And then consider Uber, dealing with a literal real-world environment, traffic, weather, passenger locations. It is always shifting. Their RL agent optimizes global decisions in real time, whether that's launching surge pricing or actively rerouting idle drivers. If drivers move downtown and wait times drop, boom, positive reward. If prices surge too high and people cancel their rides, negative penalty. It perfectly balances passenger demand across millions of daily trips without a human ever having to manually tweak the rules.
Section 6. Benefits, Risks, and Future. What managers need to know.
So what does this all mean for business leaders? The benefits are absolutely massive. We're talking about systems that continuously improve themselves over time, adapt instantly to rapid market shifts, and fully automate tedious manual decisions. Plus, they can optimize multiple business objectives all at once, seamless scaling to manage millions of complex decisions. It's a real game changer.
But, and it's a big but, there are real risks, especially around reward design. This is a massive trap. An RL system will aggressively optimize whatever you reward it for. For example, if you reward a call center AI purely for keeping call times short, your human agents might start unfairly rushing and hanging up on frustrated customers just to hit that metric. If your reward function isn't perfectly calibrated, you can accidentally create some seriously harmful operational behaviors.
Which really brings us to a foundational truth about where business leadership is heading. To quote our source material directly, future managers will increasingly supervise AI systems that make autonomous decisions. The era of managers manually making every single granular day-to-day operational choice, that's rapidly coming to an end.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Are you ready for a future where your primary job is to supervise the AI that makes the decisions? Understanding the nuts and bolts of reinforcement learning isn't just a party trick for software engineers anymore. It is the new absolute foundation for strategic business leadership. Thanks for exploring this fascinating topic with me.